Hey, Sagittarius. This is Joy with Joy of the World, here to take an intuitive peek into the energies going on around you. Friends and subscribers, welcome back. And if you're new to this channel, be sure to click that subscribe button and ring the bell out beside it. They'll notify you anytime I post new videos. Also, if you find you like the content we provide here at Joy of the World, be sure to give us a big thumbs up, like, and share. And to all the friends who've given donations into the channel, thank you from the bottom of my heart. I've used some of that to order 4 new decks, which will be coming in from Scotland. They are fantastic. And hopefully, I don't know how long it takes to ship from there, but maybe we'll be able to get into the next week for our readings. But for now, Saggy, there's some funky energy coming on. I wouldn't have thought to see this from you, and that's not a bad thing. It's good that truths are emerging and coming up. That there's one particular deck I had that when I was transferring from the deep dive days over here to the keep it sweet and simple type things, that they were taking that discordant energy, kind of like a lot of the retrograde stuff and the squares and things have been going on, and getting it all upright and on the same page again. Some things in yourself were working against yourself and you might not have even known it. So what I was getting when I was meditating, sorry, I'm getting tickly now that I'm talking to y'all, must mean we're dancing around that energy of what was coming through was really, you've gotten to a place through some decisions that you've hit rock bottom. And I was like, that's okay. There's nowhere to go but up from there. It takes hitting rock bottom to know where you came from and where you want to go. And then you showed me, which then the reading began. The cards started coming out. And you fell from the Golden Palace. You fell from a high height. You might not even know it. You might not even know the fullness of your spiritual connection, of your lineage, of your heritage. You might have transformed so early on in response to an unsavory situation or character or personality that you were surrounded by, that you developed thusly going in opposition to that, as opposed to continuing along a natural trajectory, being aware that that energy or supposition was not anything that you yourself were going to fulfill. But you weren't going to follow, but you also weren't going to go in the opposite direction of it. You were going to continue straight on your path. So it's a little bit of what's going on behind the scenes here. So let's go ahead and start to take a look. So the 2 cards at the top, where you came from and where you have found yourself, right? The Golden Palace and the Dragon's Lair. All right, this is where you fell from. It's all warm, it's all golden, great perspective, high heights. You know, the moon is in its beginning phase. It's not, there's hope on the horizon. There's that type of thing, and it's not having to live out and eat the fruits of actions that you've already taken. And here you can see, having fallen, that love has grown cold. You've lost any sense of roots. You feel like you're in a dungeon and like you are stuck. Now, stuck in what, you say? Well, that's what's wild is on the shoulders of these cards, next to the Dragon's Lair, which is 19, meaning it's just going to continue to play out this way, and you're going to end up alone, end up alone, end up alone. And that's kind of where it's worn thin, is just the journeying and the adventure and the new stuff isn't enough for you anymore. That's begun to be a disturbance of, well, what is this about? How do I get out of this? Because I want true happiness. I want the fullness of my happiness. Like Jupiter is kind of like poking the belly, poking it a little bit, asking you, what more, what more, what more? And so what you're showing me about the Dragon's Lair, which is kind of the backstory of the fall, of what you fell for, okay, is number 11. Seeing yourself through the world's eye. And although you didn't strongly identify with it, what you didn't see was the overarching view of our whole generation alive on the planet. Those subliminal things that you didn't realize were speaking to you. Now you're like, I was aware of a lot of them. And I'm like, there's the stutter. A lot of them. And I understand that feeling because I have a very strong Saggy placement. So I'm like, that'll be interesting to dive into this, to see what it is we're missing. Now everybody with perfect vision still has a blind spot. That's what lets the eye doctor know your vision is healthy. Okay, and so it has a lot to do with the people you surround yourself with, that you might not be realizing you're absorbing some of their energies, some of their eccentricities. And eccentricities aren't bad, but in this case, the spirit is using The word eccentricity is things that are in excess, beyond, distorted, because they're added on to or taken away from. They're not whole. Okay, they're not whole. So here this balancing act has to do, in order to be of repute, to have respect, to be of value, to be of importance, and to be loved, there's an image and a role that has to be played. And it's incredibly precarious. And it is the polar opposite of what you are. Take a closer look. Can you see that ship balancing on that crystal ball? But it's even more than that. It's like a orb of water, where it belongs down in the water, but it can't even get wet because it can't even be in its own natural environment. Here it is up in the air, and not just that, it's not like floating from the sails or whatever. It's on a tight wire. It's having to watch every single step and be incredulously careful in order to receive a flux of love. And as we can see from the petals, this isn't spiritual love, this is human love. Which human love is fine, but if you have spirit love, you will have human love. If you have this kind of human love, it won't necessarily have spiritual love attached to it. So you have to have both your meaning, okay? And that's where it's like this playing coy of, oh, did I do that? Or, oh, is this how I am? And it's kind of like it's become cool to be out of touch. It's been cool to be a wanderer, moving about. And I know all who wander are not lost. This isn't about being lost. This is about being found. You can not be lost, but also at the same time not be found. You now hear that relegation, that balancing act of the seesaw there of, well, I don't want to be like them. And so you go in the complete opposite direction, and you're still in the same energy, just on the other side of it, like the seesaw, you're teetering and you're tottering. And really, that's a distraction from your path. And that's the energy you're playing into here. And it's what seems to bring about glory, what seems to bring about acceptance, what seems to bring about a group or a tribe or any of that, no matter how cool or off color or eccentric or wild or embracing or accepting it seems to be, is simply not genuine. Okay? So that's what the sacrifice was that brought about this dragon's lair. This is the entrapment. This is the being stuck, because you don't know how else to see yourself, because you've been seeing yourself through the world that you live in, the lens of this life. That doesn't have to be other people and their words or perspectives. I mean, we're just being inundated all the time, because that is the generation that's alive on this planet right now. And there's certain waves of what is deemed to be beautiful, acceptable, socially conscious, that type of thing. So what we have beside the Golden Palace, number 23, which is union with creativity, the divine, is the initiator of the deck, the bone collector. This is complete polar opposite of what we saw there. Oh, and that's totally wild. Look, it's the one and the 1-1. Be true to thyself. That's what she's saying. She is true beauty. Look at her radiance. It's so genuine, so real, that it impacts the world around her, that she changes the mindset of the world instead of letting the mindset of the world change her, transfer her out of her element. Here she is totally in her element. All the elements are her, and she is, I am all the elements. How fantastic. Because bones are the foundation. They're what all the fleshy bits, the good bits, the sensory bits of life get built upon. And life is attracted to her and drawn to her, and time moves with her in honor of her energy. This he or she, it doesn't matter, but the woman in the card, in honor of her energy. And she's positioned as such that she's comfortable in a squat. A squat is just as ready to sit down as it is to stand up and go. She's just as happy in her magic little circle around there. She's brought the abundance and the life all into her. It's drawn to her. She is the flower. She is the life when the rest of the world is barren around her. So that's the invitation, okay? This is what she goes with. Can you see now? It's wild how these cards come out and the energies come out to support themselves. Okay? True beauty or false. Okay? Genuine or not. Where you come from, where you have fallen. All right. So that seemed like, okay, that's strange, because you don't tend to define your beauty about what others think of you, but it was an unspoken, remember, it was a vibration going on in your environment around you that was imprinting you whether you knew it or not. So it's still there whether you accept it or not, is what they're saying. And that's a little snippy, so I'm sorry. They're like, whether you accept it or not, and I'm like, okay, psh, psh, psh. I'm going to have to sit back and listen to this myself, all right? Because I'm almost more Saggy than I am Capricorn, because I have 3 placements there. One of which is my North Node. So I have a lot to learn, don't I? Now, sandwiched, bridging them underneath the Dragon's Lair and the Golden Palace came in this card. 42, wide open. And you think, okay, great. I'm ready. I'm wide open. I'm ready. Lift me up. Take me back. Beam me up, Scotty, that type of thing. Except it came in like this. Okay? And now, I don't keep inversions in my deck. I don't do inversions in my deck. Inversions are invited to come out when they're ready to speak. That way my decks stay clean for each zodiac reading and not relegated to the energy of the sign that preceded it or the signs that preceded. So when it comes out, they're pretty special. All right? So here it tells me clearly, you're not open. You're not open to this. All right? And we're going to find out why. Because the magic is trying to come in. And you want it to be hard. Okay? It's almost like there's this thing with strong Jupiter energy called pressing your luck. And the thing is not playing with your luck, not accepting your luck, enjoying your luck, coming to a point that, like, if there's boredom or there's discontent, you're going to poke it. You're going to press it. And right now it's Jupiter that's poking you in the belly, just tapping you like, hey, you let me in and I'll get your world back on track. Hey, you let the favor come, the golden come. Let me give you lucid dreams and remind you of who you are. Let me surround you with the warmth and the love of my glowing energy. Let me remind you. And you're like, no, I want to stay in the eye of the storm. I want to stay right here. That's the way it is, because I know the way I think is right. It's not wrong. Because really, I'm over in this energy. I'm not here. I don't fall for that. I don't do that. I would never be like that. And that's what they're going, whoa. Hard and stuck and cold. That's exactly why. Look how hidden your home fires are. Way down here, shrunk down to bare minimum, just enough to power it to keep you alive. When you put the sun in the sky, when you elevate it to where it belongs, it shines on all, and it's good for all, okay? That's the difference. It's for all. So, all right, let's find out a little bit more about this. Underneath it is 18, the magic stream. And you're kind of like, prove it. Show me. Do a miracle. Open up the sky, the heaven. I want to be born again. Make me new again. Do this, do that, do this, do that. Fix this, fix that. You know, instead of letting me have the warmth of my beauty, of the life that I've walked through. Because, I mean, that's how you get bones. You get bones through death, baby. That's how you get down to the nitty gritty. And let me tell you, even inside the bone, there is flesh. It's called marrow. That's how you get to the heart of the matter. And it's excruciatingly painful. It's expensive and costly. But Jupiter's wanting to come along and make it easy for you. So in my mind, that means learning through the example of others. It could just mean some of that tapping into your dreams, reconnecting with your guides and your spirits if you've drawn sort of drive, leaning more heavily on others' input and influence instead of getting quiet with your own self, okay? And that can change you more than you know. Even if 1 degree at the source, okay, like it's an air and you fire 1 degree off at the source doesn't seem like much, but the further the distance it travels, you see how far off it gets, the trajectory. And so this is kind of like, look, see that green tree up there? That's kind of like you right here. Life sees you as abundant and full of life, But here you're upside down. Here you're right side up. They're like, you are the miracle that you're looking for. You are the beauty that the world seeks. Can you not see that? Look at this. I mean, this is like liquid honey. You can see the world reverberating with her energy. You can see her joy embracing the cycles of life. And here I love it because the heron has shown up. And it's a symbol of grace. And you're letting me know here that your grace is your dream catcher. It is the thing that that filters out the demons from your dreams. And in this case, demons aren't things, beings, objects. It's more of relics, those type of mindsets that have clogged it up. They've clogged up your vision. They've messed up your fractals, your portal, your cathedral window, is what you're saying. Oh, your source of all being, your carbon molecule. Everything's made of carbon. What changes it is whatever's attached to it. Well, they want you to be attached to the magic stream, okay? That's what gets you back on track with your divine connection. Now, that's at the center. We're going to get a couple of tarot to clarify in just a second, but along the sides, we have number 12, slow and steady, coming in, and encouragement, number 54, about reconnecting with who you really are. Let's see. It actually looks like this. About reconnecting with who you really are. And you're still not completely open to that, not in the heart chakra for sure. It's going to take a little bit of time to work through this, which is fine. Which is fine, because as you begin to work through it, you're already moving in it because it is moving in you. But to be open and receptive to the help and the assistance, and that you have some mindset growth to grow, and some education, some learning of, like, it could just be in meditation time with your guides and yourself, being restored like that. It could be a little bit of reading, a little bit of research, a little bit of watching the environment around you and allowing nature to speak even, okay? And that's what will begin to restore the magic, like that magic stream, the magic of the connection, okay? My ice maker agrees. So open your heart to that opportunity to allow life to rebuild the connection with you. And even then, because underneath it comes in 43 and 35. 43, details, came in inverted. Okay, so this is wild, y'all, to have two show up. And it's like, you're like, no, slow and steady. I don't want to get down into the details. I don't want to do all that kind of stuff. I don't want to get into the nitty gritty. All right, I've already done all that. I've spent all my time. This is what I do all the time. And they're like, no. Remember, see, here we have the heron showing up again, coming in to remind you of that grace, of your golden glow, of this beauty who is at peace with the cycles of time, with how long it takes to form a human life, the humanity, to restore your humanity. That's a bit of what they've been on lately, is this journey is about restoring our humanity as opposed to our inhumanity, walking in the truth of who we really are, being right with ourselves, because right isn't right or wrong, black or white, day or night, good or bad. It's not that type of a thing. It has to do with being true to who you really are. I mean, look at this amazing creature. And instead of closing your heart to who you are, being open and being like, yeah, exactly, and unfurling and uncurling and stretching out and being like, this is who I am. This is my beauty. This is my golden delight. This is where I come from. Because when you stand true, it's kind of like Field of Dreams. If you build it, they will come. That's what this detail and this time has to do with, is like becoming comfortable in your form and who you are. And it draws others, the likes, together. It draws together the real soul tribe and the real family, the thing that brings about the delight and the life. Okay, so we're going to get a couple of the affirmators here. Okay, well, you guys specifically asked for them. I love that. So we have the Four of Pentacles, Seven of Swords, and the Knight of Pentacles. it's really strange to see that there's still a little bit of resistance on receiving help, on actually being known for who you really are, being okay with being celebrated and being uplifted and, what are they talking about? Exalted. You'll not that you'll be put on a pedestal per se. You'll be put on your kind of pedestal, a natural rock formation where you're up and you speaking like a Red Rock Amphitheater, right, in Colorado. It will be in your flavor and in your style. Trust. This is life providing this opportunity. Trust. All right, you are not in danger, because let me tell you, there ain't much that gets a hippo. The hippo gets whatever it wants, and you're like, and I want these 4 pentacles. I don't want to lose what I've got. It's like, you're not going to lose what you've got. You're going to get to know who you are. And in who you are, everything you could ever want, ever desire is right there with you. Can you see it? Everything right there with you. Can we even fathom what's behind these windows? What's behind this tree of life? What all is contained therein? Everything you could ever want is what your guides are saying. So here, we had a couple of defenses and walls to break through. I feel like Robin Hood or something. Like I'm trying to get on in here to get you back, to not to get you back like that, but to bring you back. Okay, because the 7 of Swords is like, no, you can't have me back. You're not taking me. I know where you're taking me. You're going to feed me to that dragon. And there are good dragons and bad dragons, y'all. And in this case, this was like hoarding. It was that type of energy being held in a foreign land. So you're like, you can't have me. You can't do it. But, you know, little bit by little bit, your own sweet soul is going to woo you back into trusting, to where you don't feel like you're being weaseled out of something, where you're not being taken advantage of, that your own truth, your own self is going to begin to clear up all that was that you kept hidden from yourself. Okay, because this energy work, this is from self to self. This is from your mind, body, and soul to your own mind, body, and soul. And after a bit of time, in comes the magic Knight of Pentacles. And we can see with a little hard work, but I see it's the commitment to your standards, to knowing that you are the most valuable pentacle that you have. Because really, what you're holding on to here is just mainly the one. Okay? So if the 3 are calling in to help you, then that means just trade these off for the 3 little birds that are coming in saying, every little thing gonna be all right, Sagittarius. And look at you smiling here. It's almost like your shouts are making flowers. They're blossoming life everywhere. Your celebration, your victory. It was hard won because you can see the beaver there, right? It has to do with your tenacity to undam yourself and to flourish in a new facet, in a new way. But it is quite ancient, okay? It's quite ancient. Hey, Saggy, I believe in you. I believe in us. We can do this. Let's let Jupiter make this easy for us. Let's not force it to have to be the hard work. I think the hard work in this case is behind us. And the work of retaining of who we really are is allowing that flow. Each zodiac has its own benefits going with it, and we should learn to embrace them and to allow it to work along with us. Okay, so that we get to where we want to go, because when we're flourishing and we're abounding, we make our whole world a better place. Everywhere we go around us, it's just like that energy. It begins to change our world to where everyone can be free from this dissonance. Hey, love you. Talk soon. Bye.